Hello, audience members. Could our panelists, my name is Colin Brenneman. I'm an investigator with the Office of Equity and Civil Rights, and I'm very happy to be hosting this panel tonight. Panelists, could you please introduce yourselves and where you go to school?
My name is Najee, and I go to school at Hempstead Hill Academy.
My name is Kennedy, and I go to school at Mervo.
Well, Najee and Kennedy, first off, congratulations on winning this contest. Our winners tonight for the audience at home have shown awesome capabilities in creativity and tech, and so I am proud to announce that they will each be receiving a cash prize of $250. Congratulations, Najee and Kennedy.
Thank you.
Their prizes are sponsored by our partners, so I'd also like to thank Fearless Software, which is a Baltimore-based digital services and software company dedicated to creating software that powers the things that matter. Now, in addition to the $250, Kennedy and Najee will be receiving a virtual mentoring session with some design professionals over at Fearless. And, you know, knock on wood, once this pandemic is quieted down, they're also invited to come tour the offices. So thank you to Fearless. Congratulations again to our panelists. And I think I'm just gonna hop right in here if that sounds okay to y'all. So this question is for both of you. I'm gonna let Najee, I'm gonna let you take this one first because you're younger. So both of your films had a very specific theme. Najee, your film was about the impact that your home and your neighborhood can have on your life. Kennedy, your film was about the change makers who are working to build up Baltimore. So Najee, first to you, why did you decide to make your video about your home and your neighborhood?
I'm not really sure, but I don't know. But that's because that's what I know most about.
Mm-hmm. Well, it certainly seems like you've thought a lot about it.
Yeah, I thought a lot, but not too much.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it seems to me that you put a lot of thought into it. We'll get back to you with more questions that are a little more specific. You know, sorry to put you on the spot there. But Kennedy, how did you decide to make your film about the change makers who are building up Baltimore?
So most of the time when like people are describing Baltimore, it's always negative things and you don't really hear the positivity of Baltimore. So I know as a young person, like in certain neighborhoods, you would see more negativity, but you don't want the generation after you to see that negativity. So we decided to make our film about how young people and even adults could build Baltimore up. So it's not just all this negativity going around, but it's also positivity. That was the behind it.
So that's really what it is then, is seeing all these negative representations and sort of being like, I want to show the good that's going on in Baltimore.
Yes.
Well, I think with that, I will hop into some one-on-one questions. So we're going to do this for another 15 minutes or so, and then we're going to get some questions from the audience. So, Najee, I'll turn it over to you for this one. You said that you like how close your home is to Ravens Stadium and that you wish the bar on your street was moved further away. What are some other things that you like or don't like about your neighborhood?
I like in the morning. Sometimes my brother would take me to the park, Curl Park, and it's not too long. It's not too far away from my house, so I like that too. And yeah.
Carroll Park is a beautiful park. That actually brings me a bit to another. I don't want to cut you off there. I'm sure there's other things besides the park that you love about your neighborhood.
Like it's like a Holland's Market. I can walk there, and then we have like this community center with it's some stores there, a barber shop, Subway, and Price Right. A lot of those. That's not too far away.
Well, I think that's sort of what I'm picking up here is that you like the fact that you can walk to a bunch of different stuff from your neighborhood,
Uh-huh.
which is, I mean, I know from my experience, I grew up, somewhere where I would have had to walk an hour to get to the grocery store. So the idea of having all these things in your neighborhood, it sounds like it's very important to you.
Not that important, but I like it because
Um,
like waste gas in the car.
I think you got a couple more years until you're contributing to the gas budget, but I appreciate you being conscientious. So I'm going to come back to you here in a second. I'm going to follow up about Carroll Park specifically. You'll see. But here's a question for you, Kennedy. So you talk to people who are doing work across a variety of areas throughout the city. I mean, you and your classmates. How did you decide which specific people you were going to interview?
So the way I decided, well, not just me by myself, but as a group, we decided that it should be like parents and teachers and people who are about building the community up. We should interview them because like they're like coordinators. So like we can get advice from them and they can explain to us like things that we could all do to pitch in to build Baltimore up. So I think that's really how we decided on who we would interview and who we wouldn't interview.
So had you already heard of a lot of these people? Or did you do some research to find people that were doing things that were interesting to you?
Most of the people we already had heard of or knew of, like around our school area and stuff like that. I think there was a couple of people that we had to research, but for the most part, we basically knew everybody who we were interviewing and knew what their jobs was.
Well, it makes sense to me that you're talking about showing the positivity in Baltimore. If all of this is going on and you already know about all these positive change makers, you didn't have to, go searching for people that were doing that work. They were already there.
Yeah.
I'll come back to this question of the teamwork aspect of your project in a little bit. But here I have a second question here for you, Najee. You mentioned Carroll Park. Well, I also remember in your video that you talked a fair amount about Edward's house from Twilight and how much you like the Twilight house. And it seemed like one of the things you liked about it was that it's in nature. And you mentioned Carroll Park. Do you think it's important to have nature and green spaces close to where you live?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, why is it important to you?
Well, I learned that trees give you oxygen and air.
Mhm.
So I thought like if you're around a bunch of trees, you have a whole bunch of oxygen. Then yeah.
Well, what do you usually do when you go to Carroll Park?
I play lacrosse, so me and my brother we would play catch with the lacrosse sticks.
Yeah, you can't play catch with lacrosse if you don't have a park to go to.
Or
Maybe in your
or
backyard, I suppose, but it wouldn't be as fun.
we would play basketball.
So, do you think it would make a difference in your life if instead of being right next to Carroll Park, you had to drive 10 minutes or something like that to get there?
I don't think it will make a difference, but we can get a good exercise if we walk.
Well, I'll what do you think Carroll Park means to your neighbors, to your community?
I think it means to them like a big open space where we could just throw trash. Cause we find a lot of trash over there.
Yeah, that is true. but that's I guess you're then pointing at one of the aspects of housing in neighborhoods that can be kind of a negative thing, that I guess, pivoting back over to Kennedy provides us opportunities to be engaged in that positive change. All right, so Kennedy, this is a hard pivot here, but so you really surprised me at the end there with that incredible music video. Why did you and your collaborators decide to bring in these other art forms of music and dance into your film?
Okay, so like I said before, the film was all about positivity and building Baltimore up. So the song lyrics, the hook is building up Baltimore, and you say that 6 times. So I know a lot of people my age and even adults, they express themselves through music and dance in a positive way. So to show the positivity, we decided to bring in some forms of dance in the song to show like there's still positivity in Baltimore and to encourage people to do better.
So do you think then that, so for you then, it sounds like the song and the music video was helping you to get your message across, even stronger.
Yes, especially to the younger people.
It was an incredible song. So that's not a question, that's just a comment. And I'll come back to you here in a sec, but so Najee, there were a couple things that you said in your video that's stuck with me. You said if somebody chooses where you live, they can easily set you up. And then you also said that life changes when you feel safe in your home. So do you think your life would be different if you weren't able to live where you live now?
I think so.
Why how did you come to realize that? Is it from seeing where other people live, or from stories you've heard, or how did you come to that idea?
I just thought of it myself.
So you actually also had a song in your video and a dance in your film. I just want to say that. So another theme I picked up is that for you, your home it provides this sort of sense of not having to worry. Like, that your home will always be there for you.
Yeah.
Because a few times in there you said, when I get home from work, I know my home will be there. You're not working though, are you?
No.
I'm just
When I get
making
home
sure.
from school.
Because we have we work, we do wage enforcement. So if you were out there working, that might be an issue. All right, so pivoting back over to you here, Kennedy. You worked with a lot of different people to make your film. I mean, it was clearly a team effort. What was it like working together on a creative project as a team?
I wouldn't say it was hard, but more so fun, especially because a lot of people I worked with were classmates that I had already known from previous school years, and because we got to meet new people. Of course, there were times where we would bump heads because we didn't agree on certain topics or certain ideas, but I feel like in the long run, we all put together and work together to make that film.
So, what did you do when you bumped heads? How did you decide? How did you resolve that type of tension?
If we bumped heads, we would all just take like a 2 5 minute break just to regroup ourselves, and then when we come back calmer than we was, and then try to take um not all the ideas but certain parts of each idea to put it together to make it make more sense and to have everybody's opinion on the final idea.
So, how big was your team?
Um, it was pretty big. It was close to 10 people, maybe more, if I'm not mistaken.
That actually, I mean, that's a lot of people. I don't know if you've ever seen. I mean, every time I've tried to get 10 people to even go out to lunch together, it's a fight basically. So I think I think it's a very unique experience actually to work on that big of a project with that many people, in high school. And yeah, so if you said 10 people, does that mean there were some people who were not on camera, just behind the scenes?
Yes, there was a lot of. Okay, well, actually, I was probably the only one behind scenes because I don't like being on camera. So the other, as you saw in the film, the kids who were doing the interviews, they were the main ones on camera, and I basically did like the producing and the behind the scenes, like setting up the shots and stuff like that.
Were you also the one who was arranging to have these interviews with people?
I did most of the arranging of the interviews. Of course, like I said before, we all pitched in and did something here and there. But as a producer, my job was to basically make all the interviews and set up the shots and just basically help everybody else to see the bigger picture.
Well, it is a task that I would not envy, you know, organizing that many people. But I think you did a great job, and Najee, you did a great job as well, conveying your point of view. And anyway, I'll have more praise for you there at the end. But I want to pivot over to an audience question. So this is for both of you. Kennedy, I'll let you go first here, since I let Najee go first for the other group question. What kind of projects do you want to work on next?
So the next project that I'm working on, not by myself, but of course with another group of people, is going to be a show for kids my age and maybe younger and maybe just a little older. Um, it's going to be basically a positive show and to show like kids and the things that they do on a daily basis, their life and things like that.
So like a news show?
Um, I guess you could say that. Yeah.
So, but so then would you be doing similar things to what you're doing, what you've done in your previous film, but focusing more on younger people who are doing this kind of work?
Yes.
Sounds like a very cool idea. Najee, what do you have cooking? What's up next for you?
Not really sure. But I like sports. So, something about sports.
You want to be a lacrosse champion?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure you could fill up your entire day with lacrosse. Are there any other projects? Are we going to see more films from Mr. Najee going forward?
I could try.
Well, we're all looking forward to seeing. If you were to make another film, what do you think it would be about?
Healthy foods. Now
Health
let's
food.
healthy food.
Well, that
I don't know.
that's super important actually. And you raise a good point about neighborhoods as well, because a lot of our neighborhoods, people don't find it that easy to get to actually buy healthy food, because of the distance. So there's a lot of things you could do with that, Najee, and I look forward to it. So there being no further audience questions at this time, I think that this is a good time sort of for you to, just sort of what is something that you wanted your film to say. Actually, here we go. What is the question that you wish I would ask you about your film? That's a job interview trick. What should I have asked you so I can ask it now?
Mm, did you like doing the film?
Sorry, could you say that again?
Did you like doing the film?
That's a great question, Najee. Did you like making your film?
Yeah, it was fun.
Well, you seem to be having fun. And from what I hear, your family is very proud of you. So, you should be king of the house for a little bit there, a celebrity.
I guess
So,
so.
hey, enjoy it while it lasts. So, Kennedy, what do you wish I had asked you?
I think you answered pretty much every question that needed to be asked.
Well, then, is there something that you think that your teammates and maybe just your classmates at school would really like everybody in the city to know?
You can do anything you put your mind to, especially if it's something that you enjoy doing. And to not only spread negativity around, but also positivity. And that'll make Baltimore and the world a better place.
Well, that is oh, here we go. We have another question for you here. This is I don't know who the audience member who's asked this. I like this question a lot. What would you like the city to look like in 50 years? This is for both of you, but Kennedy, I'll let you go first here.
50 years, that's a long time. I would like to see less trash in the city, less boarded up houses, less young kids on the corners, especially early in the morning when they should be at school. More of a positive environment in all communities, and affordable opportunities for everybody and not just certain people.
Well, I hope it doesn't take 50 years to get there. I mean, I'd like to see that by the end of 2020, but I think we'll have to do some more work. So, Najee, what do you hope that Baltimore looks like in 50 years?
Like a cleaner environment, and that's all I got.
That's a big one, and especially as you both are very young. I'm still pretty young, although probably seem old to you. But Yeah, the environment is only going to be more and more important. I think that's really one of the big challenges that the older folks are going to be looking at us to solve. I know with my niece and nephew, I'm like already sort of hoping that they'll do better than me and my friends have done. So we are approaching the end of 5 p.m. So I think this is a good time for me to get in my concluding remarks here. Did I put them where I thought I had put them? Evidently I did not save them where I thought I did, so I'll just have to do this. I'll just have to do this off the dome. So thank you very much, and congratulations again for sharing your creativity and talent with all of us, for your bravery in putting yourselves out there, and for your obvious dedication to making the city a better place. I know I speak for all of us older people when I say that it's young people like you that give us all a lot of hope for the future, and we're all very much looking forward to seeing what you do next. And I'd like to thank our audience as well for tuning in. The Fair Housing Film Festival has been an absolute blast to put on, and it's all for you, audience members. And it's not over yet. We have a couple more events tonight, one at 7 and one at 8. And then we have a whole day worth of programming tomorrow from 12 to 8. So go to our website, Baltimore Housing Film Festival. You can Google it, go to the schedule of events, and I'm sure you'll find something that you would like to watch. So thank you again. Congratulations again, Najee and Kennedy. And I think that's it. I think we did it.